How's it going today, everyone? This is KaijuFanatic, your host, celebrating our subscriber goal and our third anniversary with none other than the infamous X Plus Gigantic Series Shin Godzilla, or Godzilla 2016 clear red version. We are finally looking at this figure. It is beautiful. Let's not waste any more time, dive right in and see what makes this the best. Now, quick head note before we get into this. As you guys can see there, you can see the floor and some cords and some lights. You can see the light controller. This figure is so big, it's so massive on this review table that you guys are going to be seeing the walls next to it. You're going to be seeing some of the collection shelves, and you're going to be seeing just a few other things. It's just how it is. This figure is so massive. I did try to cut out as much of it as I could, though. So, starting off with the head, I am absolutely in love with this head sculpt. It is one of my favorite things to look at on this figure. Look at that eye. It is creepy. It is small. It is looking exactly where it needs to look. All of the teeth details are absolutely incredible. Monster Arts Bandai, you ain't got nothing on that. Moving to the side profile, I am absolutely impressed with this figure. It is the Shin Godzilla silhouette here. The neck is the perfect length, the head is the perfect shape, the dorsal plates are the perfect size. It all just fits. And the very, very nice thing about this figure, as you guys might be able to tell, it is just detailed to the bone. Look at the top of the head here. Absolutely incredible. All the work X Plus put into this. And then with the clear red version, you have some of the red seeping through almost like it's illuminating. Here, you can see a major part of it. The red is able to shine through as much because the inside of the vinyl is coated in a silver paint. It makes it appear shiny, and it's a little bit reactive when we look at it at lights. We'll look at that a bit later. But I am just absolutely impressed at how gross and how horrific this Godzilla looks, how absolutely torn apart he appears, and it's just impressive that this mold still holds up. Since its original release, it's incredible all the heart and soul that went into this, and how much I personally believe that the clear red version here just improves the sculpt. Is it necessarily accurate? Not really, but it is a beautiful exaggeration of the red radiation or blood, whichever you would prefer, that's shining through Shin Godzilla. And there's just a ton of it. It's everywhere. Look at this shot. Normally I wouldn't include a shot like this because the lighting looks really weird, but it ends up actually showing and helping the red glow throughout the body, so I wanted to show that real quick. Now, these little tiny hands, these little T-Rex arms, are absolutely horrifying. As I said earlier, looks like they're barely hanging together, but there's a ton of red shining through. It really gives it like almost an Eva vibe, an Evangelion vibe. And I'm in love with it. I'm in love with these sculpts. I'm in love with the positioning of the hands and the actual fingers, how they look like they're just up like a crown, a twisted, broken crown. Moving down the body here to the G-cut, as we've called it. He is got a little bit of a pouch, which is A-okay, and just more red. Looking at the thighs here, this is where a lot of the red is going to start finally revealing itself in a majority of a way. It is super, super nice looking. I love the paint on this figure as well. It is a bit darker in person. It's making it look a little bit more charcoal here with the lighting, but I can promise that this is in fact a darker black, maybe a really, really dark gray. And the red shining through here at the thighs is such an interesting effect that we don't really see in the movie, but I think it just helps this mold just shoot through the roof. Here's a little bit more of one of those angles where I'm trying to show the translucency of the figure a little bit without taking the lights off. He's also got these big old feet on each side. He's got multiple toenails poking out of him, the horrifying mutation that he is, and then he's got these big old toenails that kind of look like they need to be chipped, but at the same time looks like he kind of takes care of it himself. Moving down towards the tail, absolutely loving the way that this tail is. It is big, it is huge, it's thick, and it's twisted and curved. It's got a ton of red just shining through because this is where the clear red really shows itself. It's very visible, it's very beautiful, and it's just massive. This tail is so massive that it needs a tail stand to hold it, otherwise the vinyl itself will start to weigh itself down and could possibly tear. So always use the tail stand on this figure, or maybe don't have the tail on in general, but he needs it to balance. So there is a absolute ton of detail here at the tip of the tail. Completely impressed by the sculpt. It seems to be in the middle. It's not fully charged, yet it's also not dormant, which is kind of an interesting choice by them. It is packed full of gruesome detail. All the skeletons that are in there are all here, shining through with that beautiful bloody red. The whole tail is just absolutely massively impressive. It is the biggest thing on this figure, and it's the biggest tail out of all the X Plus Gigantic Series figures. And it just has so much to it. The dorsal plates going down the tail all change in the correct spots. X Plus just really, really slammed this figure out of the park. And they did their best to try to minimize the space that this tail would need to take. And it keeps going. The one thing about this figure is it does has a little gap at the tail connection, but it's definitely not that bad because most angles you're not going to see it. Just looking at an overview of this figure again, look at all that clear red. It is beautiful. So as I said, for accessories, it does have a tail stand. I highly, highly, highly recommend you do it. Otherwise, you may ruin the tail. Also, did you think I would forget about looking at the dorsal plates? No. These dorsal plates are incredible. I love the way that the red shines through and it fades out to the normal black color. Definitely makes it look like a mutation. They're irritated, irradiated, and maybe about to explode. Who knows? Who knows? What I can say, though, is that this X Plus Gigantic Series figure is impressive. It is the magnum opus of my collection. The detail is out of the park. The paint is just incredible. And this clear red is just immaculate. I love looking at this figure. I love staring at this figure. And I hope that this review is helping you guys decide on whether you want to try to add this beast into your collection. Now that we've looked at the translucent red in the light, let's look at it in the dark. And as you can see here with my super bright flashy light, you can see that there is a ton of translucency on this figure. The dorsal plates in particular are very, very translucent. It does get a little rough in some points, like at the base of the tail here, because the vinyl is so thick that you would need an extra ultra powerful light to shine straight through. Although this light is pretty strong, it is not that strong. So you can see it towards the end, and then once we get to the thinner point of the tail, then you can start to see the translucent shine all the way through. I'm trying to move the light here so I don't flash you guys in the eyes too much. I do apologize if I do. Here we're going to look at the thighs where it does show, as we showed earlier with the lights on, but it definitely is not as easy to shine a light through this guy as it is like the 95 or even the 2019. There's just so much vinyl here that it is hard to get all of the translucency visible unless you're using like a big old sunlight, and we're not doing that. But as you can see, the head is just gorgeous. Let's start off the size comparisons, comparing it to my first X Plus Gigantic Series figure. This is the Favorite Sculptors line, Godzilla 54. As you can see, Shin is just ever so slightly taller than the 54. A nice matchup indeed. Here we have the X Plus 30 centimeter Yuji Sakai modeling collection, Godzilla 1984. As you can see, this 30 centimeter compared to this just about 50 centimeter figure is no comparison. Shin just towers over him, which is kind of a beautiful way of true size accuracy in this case. Here we have my Sara Jirushi Treasure Fest Online 13 Shin Godzilla. This is the silver blue paint version. It is incredible. I like looking at these two together. Maybe there will be a display option in the future. Next, we have the Marusan 350 Lucky Bag green glitter orange paint version, whatever you'd like to call it. And he's even smaller, barely getting up above Shin's thigh. Check out the review if you haven't already. Finally, in a beautiful turn of events, we have the SH Monster Arts Shin Godzilla Fortnite combat version as a size comparison, because I absolutely have to put these two figures up. These are two figures that I had always wanted growing up since Shin, and it took a long time, but I eventually did get them. So if there's a figure that you guys are hunting for, please don't ever be discouraged. I promise one day you will get them. Keep looking, be patient, and find a deal. So even without my biasness on this figure, this is a 10 out of 10. We're just going to get it out of the way. We're not going to do it the normal way. It's kind of the old way. This is a 10 out of 10. I think it's perfect. Shin himself is amazing. The detail is incredible. The sculpt is incredible. The pose is very different, a little bit cumbersome, but just because it's cumbersome doesn't mean it's kind of a bad thing. It just means that they did a really different pose, and it's really epic on the shelf. I can't wait to compare it next to the Easy Hobby next month or in April, and whatever else comes out down the line. It's kind of poetic, really, that I'm ending off 3 years of doing the channel with this review. This has been my holy grail for a long time, and I've had it in the collection since this version of this figure came out, and I just haven't done it yet. And now it's finally done, and it's kind of crazy. I feel like it's the perfect spot. My number one desired figure since it was announced. And it gets to end off 3 years on the channel. What a way to send it off, guys. So, thank you guys for all the support, liking, commenting, subscribing. As of this moment, we are 2 away from 700, so maybe this review will pull it in, and maybe we will tomorrow during the live stream, and maybe we won't. Whatever happens, though, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate this. I really enjoy doing this, and I'm glad that you guys seem to be enjoying it as well. So, for one final time, for being under 3 years old on the channel, peace, rock on, stay safe. Remember to go to the links down below, join the groups, follow my friends, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, and fucking roll that anniversary clip. Oh my god, we're influencers. Instagram girls, go boys all around. Woo! AMA, I'm not gonna be able to reach. AMA. Goodbye. Look at how big your body is. Oh, is that not that big? It's very big. Wait, why is there more of you? Are you guys multiplying?
Soon that ugly blob there is Majin Buu.
As a special bonus, a laminated name card is included. DM at Thirsty Thursday Toys on Instagram. The link is in the description to purchase your very own set of G6.
Okay, now that's a glow. That is a very good glow. In hand. this thing is glowing very, very nice. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, rock on, stay safe. Remember to go to the links down below in the description. Follow my friends, join the Facebook groups there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Rodan, Mothra, and I, signing out. Well, flying out.